Good afternoon. This is Susan, and this is my channel, Susan's Ramblings. I have to post more bread recipes. I think we're going to be in trouble with our shortages that they're predicting, and other places are having shortages, but I haven't had any shortages so far in South Dakota that I know of. Not of the main ingredients the main products that I buy. Okay. So this is called two ingredient biscuits. This was been on the internet for a long, long time, and it used at that time. It says at this time there are easy ingredients to find: heavy cream and self-rising bread flour. Oh, I said self-rising bread. It should be flour, okay? Put flour in there instead of bread. If I find it, yeah, okay. I guess I didn't proofread these things, and I don't edit my recording, so what you see is what you get. All right, it should be self-rising bread, flour. Um, if you don't have self-rising flour, you can use all-purpose flour, and then you just add a teaspoon and a half of baking powder and a fourth teaspoon of salt to your cup of flour, and you will have a cup of self-rising flour. So that's an easy switch. Heavy cream is a little bit a little different, but you can make it. You're gonna have 2/3 cup of whole milk and a third cup of cooled and melted and cooled butter, and you mix that all together. You will have your heavy cream. In fact, you can even use that recipe for whipped cream if you want. Okay. Another thing you can do is substitute for heavy cream is cottage cheese, and then you use your non-fat powdered milk, and you pulse until it's all pureed. So that's another thing you can do. Another thing for whole milk, if you need to substitute whole milk for your heavy cream, then add a tablespoon of flour to thicken it to a cup of milk, and then add your melted butter and so forth and so forth. So it can be done. You can also buy, and I have in my storage, heavy cream powder, and that's what I will be using. I'm going to make sure I have that on hand. I also have the whole instant milk available. I also have a shelf-stable whole milk. So I would be able to use this for a while. The only thing I might run out of is flour, and I plan on stocking up on that in the near future. In fact, this week I will be stocking up on my flour. Next recipe I have is oat bread. Oat bread. This is an interesting recipe to me. I found it when I was researching some of the other bread recipes. I'm going to try this. Simply because I can not only use oats, but I can use farina, cream of get down there. Oops, that's on the back. Okay, this is a basic recipe, but I can also use farina, cream of wheat. You know, we got the farina in our senior boxes, and so I've got 2 or 3 boxes of that put aside that have come in our senior boxes, and I'm going to try that as a substitute for the oats. I'd also said that I could use a bland cereal, a 7-grain cereal. I've got a whole wheat bran cereal here, and they said I could use that too, as long as I can grind it up into a powder. So I will be doing that within the next tomorrow probably, because it's still supposed to be cool here. Yet tomorrow we're hitting a cooler stage. Thank God. It's kind of muggy out. It's kind of humidity is up there, but I can live with the humidity. It's the heat that I can't get. But anyway, that's what I will be experimenting with. It seems to be a very simple recipe, Uh, I don't know if I would leave the put flaxseed in it. I'm not crazy about flaxseed. I have got the flaxseed powder, flaxseed that I can grind into flour. I don't know if it would make a difference. Maybe that's another experiment I will have to do. Put the flaxseed in one and leave the flaxseed out of the other one and see what happens. Maybe it'll affect the texture or something. I don't know. But that'll be another experiment that I try tomorrow. Okay. So it's a very, you don't need many ingredients. Your oats will be your take place of your flour. Um, there's no yeast to this. So you can easily just make it up and put it in a pan and cook it, bake it. So that's like I will doing easier. Alright, that's my ingredients. I'm going to move down to, so you can get a screenshot of this, of the instructions, okay? There you go. So I'll leave that there for you. It's simple. You preheat the oven. Spray your loaf pan with non-stick spray or your butter it with grit. Grind the oats in the blender until it is flour. Measure out 3 cups of flour. Add the flaxseed, sugar, baking powder, and baking soda and whisk it all together. Whisk your eggs and your milk together until it's smooth and you pour the eggs and milk into the oats. You beat by hand for about 20 minutes, 20 times. 20 minutes would do me and I'd never be able to do that. Beat into a loaf, place spoon into a loaf pan, measuring out the top. You let it rest for 10 or 15 minutes. You give that a chance, the gluten a chance to, or whatever it is, a chance to relax, and you have a better bread. Bake at 350 degrees for 45 minutes or until test done with a toothpick. And then you would take a toothpick and you would stick it in the center, and if it comes out clean, it's done. Okay? Cool completely in the pan, in the pan before you dump it out. Those are your recipes, your instructions. I've got on the bottom, I've got several notes on this. One note is if you want a sweeter bread, you can add more sugar. I don't know how much more sugar you would add, maybe double it. I wouldn't put in a cup or so. That would really be too much, I would think. But the next notes in my back are fill a muffin tin half full and bake them. I would say for about 15-20 minutes, just like you do muffins. And it says you have an English muffin, or something like an English muffin. Okay? That's another thing you can do. I will be trying that too with one up, so I guess that's 4. I had 5 loaves of bread by the time I get done, okay? Wow. Good thing I got friends and neighbors who will be able to take it off on me. Use cream of wheat instead of oats, or use any grain cereal that can be ground into flour instead of the oats. So, like I said, there's going to be, I'm going to try the farina, I'm going to try the bran flakes, I am going to try sweeter bread, and sweeter bread, is that, no, I was going to try the regular oats, I was going to try bran flakes, I was going to try farina, I am going to try fill the muffin tins, that's 4 pans, 4, and the 5th one would be, what was it again? Oh, not using the flax. See, okay, that's it. Yeah, it'll be 5 loaves or 4 loaves plus my muffins. So anyway, like I said, I got lots of neighbors who will, I'm sure, be willing to test it for me. And then says your bread will keep 2 days if tightly wrapped. I'm hoping I can freeze it. If I can free up some freezer space somewhere in there. But anyway, that's what I will be doing tomorrow. Yeah, that should be an interesting day, huh? That's my good thing. Then you have brown bread. This one uses raisins. I hope most of you have your raisins in stock. It uses flour and so forth. By the way, flour is going to get very, very expensive. It will be very limited. because of the drought we have going on in all the states that raise wheat and the things that you use with flour. So get your flour, get your yeast, get your baking powder, get your baking soda, because you need it, okay? They will be in limited supplies, and of course, once you get it, then you put the flour in the freezer for 2 or 3 days to kill all the bugs that might be in there, and then you vacuum save it. Put it in jars and vacuum save it, or I will put it in vacuum bags and save it. Anyway, so you will have it. They're expecting this crisis to last for at least 2 years. So I don't know if you can store up enough flour for 2 years. I suppose some people do, but I am in a small apartment and my space is limited. So I don't know if I can get the 2-year supply of flour. But the more flour I get, the better off I'll be ahead. Anyway, this one uses raisins, and I have raisins, as a dried fruit in my pantry. I would hope all of you would. Some of the recipes use dates. I don't have dates, and dates are really expensive for me, so I went for the raisin bread instead. And it's a brown bread. It's kind of a sweet bread. It's a quick bread, like banana bread and so forth, because you don't have the yeast or anything for it. But that's what I would make. I will probably be experimenting with this one too. Most of these bread recipes that I'm giving you, except for the oats bread recipe, came out of cookbooks, old church cookbooks. And those are the best cookbooks that I know, because those recipes have all been tried by families. They have been tried by people like you and me, not the food experts, so-called food experts, or the food nutritionists in the big companies and so forth and so forth. These are tried by actual living members of the families, and their families have those are the best kind of recipes I have. Although I have to admit that Taste of Home recipe books are also one of my favorites, because they are by people who have tested them in their families. Okay, that one. Another recipe I came up with was peanut butter bread. You know, you can use peanut butter in almost any kind of bread, but this is the Kansas City peanut butter bread, it's called. This one uses yeast. This is an old-fashioned one again. I don't know where I got it from. Yes, I do. It came from an old family cookbook. Not a family cookbook, a church cookbook again. And like I said, I like those recipes because I know I'm going all over here. I like those recipes because they've been tried, and actual families like them. People like you and I like them. So that's especially important to me, especially in these days. This is an old-time recipe where you scalded your milk and you cooled it. And scalding means to heat the milk until almost boiling, and then you shut it off. It will form a scale or form a film or form something or other on top, and you just take that off, and then you go on. But you got to let it cool. The water and the milk can't be no more than 110 degrees, or you will kill your yeast. And there you go. Most of us have peanut butter in stock. If we don't have the peanut butter in stock, we have the peanut butter powder, so we can do that. The only thing I'm not too sure about is the dried mustard. I don't know. It's only 1/8 of a teaspoon, so I don't really know if it would make a difference if I cut it out. In fact, I will cut it out. I won't follow exactly. Okay? Shortening. I hope all of you have shortening in your pantries, such as Crisco, vegetable shortening, not oil, shortening. Those shortenings that are hard, such as Crisco shortening, or lard. Lard will work. Anyway, lard is a big thing coming back, and now it's available in several different places. I found my lard in Walmart, and I got a medium can, but I will be getting a larger can next time I go. Then you do it all, Um, I think it says loaves. I don't know how many loaves to get. Oh, buns. That's interesting. I don't know if I'd make a bun out of it, but there again, I might just experiment and make a loaf and make some buns too. So looks like I'm going to have quite a bit of bread in my house for the next few days. Okay, and this is a quick bread. Is a bread again that goes really, really fast after you let it rise. And you bake it at 450 for 15 minutes. Um, but it has the yeast in, so it has to rise in order to have a good bread. So here that is again. There's your ingredients. I think I've stuck mostly with the ingredients. And here is your instructions. Okay? I'd love it if some of you guys would experiment with some of these things and see what happened. Okay? Put your own spin on it. And that's what I do with a lot of recipes. I take the basic recipe and I put my own spin on it, and away we go. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out. So I'm going to end with one, not really a bread, but I found this recipe also in an old cookbook, one of the old church cookbooks that I've been going through, and I've got a lot of them. I've only gone through maybe 2, 3 at the most. 2, I believe. And yeah, I think I got about 50 to go through, 50 left. Anyway, so I got a lot of cookbooks to go through. But anyway, for the bread, I thought this was an interesting recipe. Now you're gonna say, we can't buy cottage cheese, blah blah blah. But you can make your cottage cheese, and cottage cheese is probably one of the easiest cheeses to make. It doesn't require an edge. You just cook it up. My mom used to make it, and we used to, at that time, we didn't like cottage cheese, and so, blah. But anyway, yeah, you can make cottage cheese. So you would take the cottage cheese, and you would puree it. You would add 3 beaten eggs, your flour, your salt, and then you mix it all together, and you fry it on the griddle, just like you would regular pancakes. I thought that was an interesting recipe. We all have complete pancake, or most of us have complete pancake in our mix in our pantries where we just add water, but I don't know how much that you can store. If you can store enough to last for a long time, but like I said, if you have milk and you can make your cottage cheese with your milk. You don't have to have fresh milk or milk that's enough. You get in a gallon or so forth or so forth. In fact, somebody reported that milk was over $5 a gallon, half a gallon. And I believe I'm not going to say what state because I can't remember right now. But it was on one of the videos, and I went, oh boy, I don't buy milk. I get the 1%. I got a lot of shelf-stable milk, and I get some in my senior box, and so I don't buy milk in the store. And besides, yeah, we'll let that go. Eggs. See if they might come up with problems with eggs, but you got egg powder again. And I always buy 5 dozen eggs at the beginning of the month in and month out. And sometimes I use them all, sometimes I don't. Those that I don't use, I freeze. And I just put them in ice cube trays. I put them in the freezer. When they're frozen, I just pop them out and put them in a Ziploc bag. And I use these eggs, I use these eggs in bacon. So, it would work here. You can freeze your eggs, or you can use egg powder. You have to just be a little bit creative and look around at your stocks and go from there. This is the last video for today. It's getting late here, and I do have some canning left to do. So you have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow with more bread recipes and with my thrift store haul and whatever else I can come up with. Okay. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.